What's good, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rich Off Gains Podcast, Ep.7. If you guys are new, make sure to bookmark this audio wherever you're listening to this, whenever you're listening to this. Leave a like, show some love and support. If you're watching it on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Before we get started, I want to give a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice, so all the things that we discuss here, you're inclined to do your own research and make sure you do your due diligence before you take any said risk on things discussed. With that being said, let's get started. So if you're not rich and you want to be rich, these are 3 things you need to change today in order to become closer to getting rich. Number 1, you have to change who you believe you are financially. What does that mean? It means how you perceive yourself when you make money and when you don't make money. When you have money, how you perceive yourself, how you carry yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, the way you carry yourself throughout the world and the way the world perceives you and the way you perceive yourself is what I mean by change the way you think about yourself financially. Because if you look at yourself as if you're thriving, and you're carrying yourself in a way as if you're thriving, even if you don't have the money, you're still moving at a pace and moving in a frequency that gives off that energy. But if you're moving in a way of survival and living very scarce, and it's gonna show through your actions, and it's gonna show through the way you speak and the way you carry yourself financially, spiritually, and physically. So you have to change the way you think about yourself financially, as in where you're at and where you want to be. You have to put your mind and put yourself, your frame of thinking, in the place you want to be, and then carry yourself to get to that point. So move in the way you would move if you had what you wanted. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's number 1. Number 2, you have to change your short-term thinking into long-term thinking. Short-term thinking gets you short-term results, while long-term thinking gets you a long-term, not only long-term result, but a longevity condition. Meaning, if you're thinking short-term and you go to the gym maybe 5 days out the week, and you're only going for that 1 week out of the month, instead of you going to the gym 5 days a week for 4 weeks in a month, and you're doing that for a year, you're expecting long-term results in a short period of time, when in reality, you're supposed to be setting long-term results and seeing them over time. And then as you do the things that you're doing in the short term, it's going to help you get to where you want to be long-term. And you're going to continue to do the things that you're already doing short-term. So in other words, having a plan that exceeds your expectation is what you should be doing. So planning out further down the road rather than sooner. Plan for later, not sooner, and do things sooner than later. I hope y'all caught that. Because most people want instant gratification and not delayed gratification. You have to delay the gratification for something, meaning the things that you want to see, the results that you want. You have to delay those results and seek those results later on down the road, while putting in the time and effort for the things you want to achieve today. That's the only way you can get to those results. Short-term thinking is going to get you short-term results, not long-term results. So number 1, we had changing the way you think financially. Number 2, we have changing from being a short-term thinker to being a long-term thinker. And then number 3, you have to change your ability to take risk and your ability to be fearful. Being fearful is the opposite of being confident. So if you're not confident, then you're fearful. Or if you're not confident, then you have doubts. So you have to be confident in the things you're doing, and even if it's not enough, even if it's not, overly confident, just confident enough to take the action, because inaction is a direct result to nothing, and action is a result to something. So you have to take the actions to get some type of result. If you don't take any action at all, you won't get any results, and then you won't see any growth or failure, or you won't learn any lessons or have any experiences from the thing because you took no action. So you have to take actions, and you have to lose the fear of whatever it is you're fearing, whether it's the loss of money, the loss of time, the loss of whatever it is you're fearing, and just take the action so that you can get the result. And when you get the result, that's what's going to help you move further along, whether it's a good result or a bad result. Because a bad result is just a lesson. So you learn from the thing that you did wrong, and then you learn how to correct it and move forward and do it again. A good result is a good result. It just comes with things that you learn, and then you also obtain what you try to seek, possibly, and then you move forward and do it again. So you have to lose the fear of not taking the risk, and you have to take the risk, and you have to have confidence to take the risk, because if you don't have confidence to take the risk, then nothing's going to ever change and nothing's going to ever happen. No one ever became really rich from not taking risk. You have to take risk in order to get to new destinations in your life and where you want to be. So these are 3 things you need to change today in order to stop being broke and start being rich. Hey, what's good, you guys? If you guys are new to this channel, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate that so much. Also, check out my website, continuebelieve.com, if you guys want more information about day trading and investing, where I can share all my tips about everything I know about investing and so much more to come very, very soon. So check that out, link in the bio, or you just type www.continuebelieve.com. I'll see you guys in the next clip. Peace. Money tip of the week. Compound your investments. How, CB? You compound your investments by reinvesting your money that you make from the said stock. So in other words, you get paid a dividend for your stock that you have invested, and then you use that money from the dividend to reinvest back into the stock. What does this do for you? Well, it helps you increase your shares, ownership of shares that you have in the stock. And not only does it help you increase the ownership of shares you have in the stock, it helps increase the amount of dividends they pay you back from the more ownership you have in the stock. So if you buy 1 share, it pays you $1 each time. It pays you a dividend of $1 for 1 share. You use that $1 to buy back into the stock, and then over time you end up having 2 shares. So now 2 shares pay you $2, and now $2 will be reinvested back into the stocks. Now you have 3 shares. 3 shares pay you $3, so on and so forth, and it continues to repeat over and over and over again. If you don't take the money out of the stock, meaning don't take the dividend out, don't take it out and use it for consumption, use it to reinvest back into the stock so you can have more shares of the company without using your own money. Now you can use your own money and buy more shares as well. That's what I also recommend to do. But on top of that, use your dividends at an advantage to help you leverage and own more shares over time. So that's the money tip of the week, guys. Make sure to be compounding your investments. All right, so Netflix versus Paramount. Who you guys got? So recently, I think actually today, Larry Ellison just committed to putting in $40 billion to support Paramount's offer to buy out Warner Brothers. Now, this is good for Paramount because it helps give them credibility in their offer, because essentially they didn't have credibility in their offer because their company does not have enough cash flow and enough cash to purchase Warner Brothers at the offer that they gave them. They were trying to raise funds from Saudi Arabia and Dubai, and a whole bunch. It was a lot of chaos around their offer that they had, and it was an offer that they had set that was higher than Netflix's offer. However, with Netflix can afford the buyout that they offered to buy Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers actually, technically they already agreed to the offer that Netflix had. So it's not finalized as of yet. And that's why Paramount is still in the loop and in the buying bid, just to be able to be possibly a contender for buying out Warner Brothers. So in my opinion, I think Netflix is still in a good spot to win. They're just getting a little turbulence from, the other side not wanting Netflix to own this company, because this is a very important buyout for entertainment. It definitely can change the narration and the way we perceive entertainment, just because Warner Brothers plays such a big role in a lot of entertainment that we know. And so Netflix owning it is a pretty big deal. So their advantages that they have in their offer is that they already have the board support. Like I said, they already pretty much got pre-approved for this deal to finalize. It's kind of just taking time for everything to be in line with their financial paperwork and everything like that. They have less controversy. Like I said, Netflix is pretty straight and narrow company. They have the cash flow. They have the money to buy the deal outright without any other investors or anything like that coming into the play. And I mean, that's really it. So what Paramount has in their side is they have just a higher offer and Larry Ellison's word that he's going to help fund the deal. It's not a lot to go off of. However, it will sway a few of the shareholders and the board on Warner Brothers to lean more towards Paramount. So it can play a little bit of an effect, but I don't think it'll play too much of an effect, like I said, because Netflix is just more straightforward with their offer. They're not taking full ownership of the deal in Warner Brothers. They're only getting a majority of Warner Brothers, but not the full extent of the company. Some of the companies are going to be sectioned off. I think it was Discover, and one more side of the company is getting sectioned off and is going to become separate entities and owned in a whole different entity. It's going to be its own thing. Meanwhile, with Paramount's offer, they're trying to buy all of Warner Brothers all together. So that kind of equates to their higher offer. But again, they currently don't have the funds to fully fund the deal as much as Netflix does. So Netflix is in a way better spot when it comes to a stable good offer, while Paramount is kind of just reaching for the stars. So in my opinion, Netflix has the potential to win this battle between who's gonna buy Warner Brothers, and Paramount's just kind of shaking up the room a little bit. So that's my thoughts and opinion on that. And yeah, I mean that's really where we fall in place with that. So with that being said, man, I just want to give thanks to God once again for another week that was not promised. God is amazing. If you guys are children of the Lord like me, I would just recommend to always give gratitude and give thanks to God, because nothing's guaranteed, nothing's promised. Everything he does for us is can be taken for granted. So just make sure to show appreciation to him each and every day. I try to do that every day. If every day I wake up, I try to say thank you for waking me up this morning. I try to pray and just stay on top of, being consistent with talking to him and having conversations with him every day. So yeah, man, thanks to the Lord. I just pray and hope that he continues to bless me with the ability to do these kind of things and be able to bless others with this knowledge and information to help possibly add value to people's lives. So yeah, with that being said, this is your boy CB. This is episode 7 of Continued Belief, Rich Off Gains podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are new, make sure to leave a like, follow, show some love and support wherever you're watching this, whenever you're watching this. Bookmark this podcast. Subscribe on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. I post every Monday Mondays. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.